but it is also what Paramahansa Yogananda taught. Now, I'm not here today to make you all converts of Paramahansa Yogananda, but I am here to tell you who he was. And I'm here to talk to you today about the influence that he's had upon millions of people. His first book, Autobiography of a Yogi. Is it supposed to be me doing the PowerPoint? I hope not. Okay.
That's the next
Huh? There we go. Paramahansa Yogananda, Guru to the West. For those of you who are familiar with this book, for how many of you, the first time you saw it, did it zap you with, Did Guruji, which means my Guru, did it zap you with his eyes? George Harrison said that. That's what happened to me in 1985, 86 when I was in a Unity bookstore. I walked all the way across the room, and it wasn't the orange that got my attention. I said, oh, wow. And I picked it up and I read it, and my world changed. Yes, the world changed for this young Mississippi girl when I was out in Texas in the big Unity Pyramid in Houston. And I never looked back. I kept going forward. So who is he? Who was he? If you will, If you'd like to learn more about him, there is a documentary out that you can stream, and it's called Awake, and it will give you a synopsis of his life and his importance. Yes?
Would you like to let them finish the last song so that they can sit down and listen to your, if you already started your message?
I'm sorry, when you introduced me, I didn't even look. Yeah. Okay. Let's vote. What would y'all like? Okay. You're going, oops. Okay, does that mean for me to continue? Okay. And I don't know what to do. I'm afraid that if I take a break right now, I'll have to go back and go, because I'm starting to kind of stream. What should we do?
You keep on going.
Okay.
You're doing well, and we like looking at them sitting there.
I didn't even notice y'all were sitting there, to tell you the truth. So, okay. So when I finish, we'll do the song? Okay. All right, that's good. Okay. He was a Hindu mystic, an advanced soul, who was sent by his guru to America at just the right time and to just the right place to begin a movement of self-realization, self-internalization, union, divine partnership with the divine, to take religion past just belief, just words, and more into feeling of that oneness. He came in order to disseminate knowledge and specific scientific practices of yogic meditation. He did so that peace could begin within and spread outwardly to the world, and so that we could be saved from ourselves. Can you go to the next slide? He not only wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, but he wrote many books. He has many publications. The first image that you see, the second coming of Christ, the resurrection of Christ within, is a huge 2-volume collection. I have an example of it in the back of the room. This was published posthumously after his death. It was published around 2014. And in this book, he is able to succinctly talk about how similar original Hinduism was to original Christianity before it became misunderstood, both religions. and adulterated. Like that got your attention, boy, the eyes went, adulterated. And adulterated by human beings who are putting their own spin and their own interpretation of it. So when you see the words, the resurrection of Christ within you, it's Christ rising in us. And we are becoming more like him and the way he was teaching us, which got lost over the years. Bigger, better, more mature, more loving, more giving, and more understanding of the oneness so that we can spread that out there too. I did teach a class here on the second book. Behold, the kingdom of heaven is within. Not up there, not out there, but here. Once Guruji was asked by one of his students, Master, where is hell? Do you believe that there is a real hell? Master looked at him and said, where do you think you are? The world is harsh. It is supposed to be harsh. We come here as a great school. And because Paramahansa Yogananda believed in reincarnation, which was the Hindu tradition, and he said the early Gnostic Christians did too. And the Orthodox Jews still do. He said, stay as long as you like. Come back as many times as you need to, as you want to. To be freed from the limitations of the physical body and become one with God. That is the future of every human who walks this earth. To be able to one day leave this planet, he said. Can you go to the next one? He was so revered for his work in India and worldwide that twice the government of India has commissioned a stamp for him. Once in 1977 and again in 2017. When he came to the United States in 2020, not 2020, good gracious, I did tell y'all I had a math learning disability, didn't I? At least I caught myself. 1920. He came here in order to talk at a Boston conference of religious liberals organized by the Unitarians. 6,000 people showed up. And soon after, he went to the White House of Woodrow Wilson. Imagine that. At that time, Americans were ready to hear him. Transcendentalism was going on. Unity had been formed, maybe 30 years before, 40 years before. And a lot of other new thought churches were popping up, leading us in to the experience of the oneness of God beyond belief and the practice of God within. So people were ready to hear it. They were hungry for a new way of thinking about God, heaven, what happens when you die, and contemplating on just what was really making the world go around anyway. It was no accident that he came to America at the time that he did. It was divine timing. A lot of people had ears to hear. And the science of quantum physics was beginning. It was being theorized and debated by Bohr, Planck, and Albert Einstein. And it fit perfectly with the teachings of unity and with Guruji's teachings as well. So what is quantum physics? We're doing a lot of experimentation with quantum physics right now, and I believe we're about to have another spiritual revolution because the existence of God is being proven through quantum physics. Now, am I talking about the Michelangelo God? You know, the guy with the beard, who says, you hell, you heaven. No. I'm talking about that which we really do not understand. And I'm not sure if our minds can possibly fathom it. For some of us, we can, because we're moving on up. We can. But what is being proven through quantum physics is there exists a universal energy that has the attributes of that which we call God, the good God, not the mean Old Testament God. This energy has consciousness and creativity. All matter is composed of this energy. From this energy we came, and to this energy we will return. We are all connected. And we all connect back to this cosmic, benevolent, powerful, all good source. Well, Unity's been saying that since what, 1888? Tell me that Myrtle and Charles Fillmore didn't connect into something and get that information. As God is the ocean, we are the wave. As the sun is the source of light, we are its rays. How many of you as children drew pictures of the sun? How many of you had pictures of the sun up in the left corner or the right corner or maybe the middle of your little drawing page, or you've watched your children do this? How many of you made 1, 2, 3, 4 rays? How many of you made 10 rays? And how many of you made as many rays as you could coming out of that sun? Maybe your soul was onto something too as a young one, before your minds started our minds, I should say, started becoming restricted by the limitations of the human body, by the ego, and by the culture in which we exist. We knew our source. In a nutshell, what he came to disseminate. As he was writing Autobiography of a Yogi, his first book, the first 2 atomic bombs were being dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is what he meant by to save us from ourselves. The ego of the physical body versus the God self of the spirit. If we didn't all start coming together in love and as brother and sister, we weren't going to make it. Similarity between unity and what Paramahansa Yogananda taught. Both spiritual systems have roots in Gnostic Christianity. Guru said that this was the original Christianity as taught by Jesus. He said that Gnostic Christianity, which was considered heretical by the Roman Catholic Church, had its roots in original Hinduism, and they were quite similar. He believed Jesus studied in India. Those lost years of Jesus from age 12 to age 33, wasn't it? 32.
33.
No, thereabout. You get the gist of it. He's still revered in India. He said both Christianity and Hinduism have been changed by people in power and through misunderstanding of the scriptures, as I already said. He didn't want that to happen to his teachings. And he put safeguards in place to try and keep his teachings and his words pure to what he originally said. He created Self-Realization Fellowship in America and Yogoda Satsanga Society in India. SRF, Self-Realization Fellowship, is the safeguard he put in place before he left the physical body in 1953. Not just to protect the teachings, but also to prevent the science of Kriya Yoga, which is a powerful yogic meditation. Remember, yoga is meditation, meditation is yoga. From getting out to people who weren't ready to receive it yet. Can you go back a little bit? Okay. Peace begins within and spreads outwardly to others. And these were his overall goals of coming when he came, so that his teachings could still continue. What is the yogic meditation Guruji taught? Well, it wasn't Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is preparation for the body to get ready for yogic meditation. Yoga means union, and the implication is that it is union with God. When I teach the yoga class that I teach on the fourth Thursday of every month, we do begin with Hatha yoga stretches. We've got to stretch out the life nerve. We're going to stretch out the area of the root chakra. Then we start working up the nervous system until we get to the neck. From bottom to the top. We add breath to it. And then we are ready for the activities, the movement, the breath, the sound, and the words to elevate us. Not just to stage 1 meditation, which I believe you have a copy of, but to stage 2 meditation. And for some of us, we might be able to go into a little bit of stage 3 meditation, which is known as samadhi, where we experience, we feel, we are that oneness. And we are all love, and we feel only love. And anybody who's ever betrayed us, we forgive them as Christ forgave on the cross. When he said, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do," he looked at them all as children. And when we can get to that aha, or as they say in Kundalini Yoga, the Waheguru, we understand Christ's words on a deeper level. And we understand and we know what Christ really said and what he didn't say. Paramahansa Yogananda said that Jesus the Christ became Jesus the Christ through a practice of something that was either Kriya Yoga or something very, very similar, which elevated him to that oneness of God's Spirit. He also said that St. John, St. Paul, and many of Jesus' other disciples also did that same practice in order to be able to speak the truth from the soul, to spread that gospel, and to teach others the yogic form of meditation as they had been taught. Kriya Yoga is something that one is initiated into. I'm often thought of as being someone who has been initiated into Kriya Yoga, which would make me a Kriyaban. But I haven't been initiated into Kriya Yoga. When people say, "What is Kriya Yoga?" I have to say, I don't know. I don't know. I do a lot of other forms of meditation, but I haven't been initiated into that yet. It requires study, which I did start going into in the 1990s. But my householder responsibilities, I had to work for a living, y'all, kept me from being able to complete my studies and become initiated, which means being taught the process of Kriya Yoga. I can tell you that I've been told it's similar to Kundalini Yoga, in that one is raising the life force energy that lies dormant at the base of the spine, up and around the chakras, using the breath and using concentration. And it doesn't happen immediately. You don't do Kriya Yoga for the first time and go, "Oh, wow, this is like an acid trip." It's not like an acid trip at all. I mean, not that I've ever done acid. Okay, back in the day, but I am still here. I'm still here. But it is an elevating experience. and is to be practiced regularly so that one can be in the world, but not of it, not of the ego, not of Maya, the illusion. We will all one day experience that, maybe. Bhagavan Krishna was to Hinduism what Jesus the Christ was to Christianity. It was Bhagavan Krishna who introduced Kriya Yoga to the world at least 5,000 years ago. In the double volume of the second coming of Christ, Guruji said that God had become manifest 3 times on earth during this yuga. He said the first time was as Bhagavan Krishna, the second time was as Buddha, and the third time was as Jesus the Christ. And in fact, Christ in the language of India means Krishna. Christ is how we say it in English. And that means when man becomes one completely with God. People have asked, why did God appear as a human? Well, it didn't work when he appeared as the burning bush, did it? I mean, Moses could handle it, but could the average person handle it? I don't think so. So he manifested as a form that we would recognize. Guruji said that God manifests on earth at times when he is needed to prevent us from annihilating ourselves. And he said in his 2-volume books, the second coming of Christ, he doesn't have to come again in the physical body. We know what to do. We can resurrect him within us. And that is what Christ meant. Lo, I will be with you always. Just tap into me and learn how to behave. What I want to do with you now, oh my goodness, it's already 11:22. I didn't know I was so long-winded. Well, yeah, I knew it. I want to practice something that is practiced by people who attend Self-Realization Fellowship and who look up self-realization online and can participate in one of their prayers. We're going to use the Om vibration. Om is translated as Amen. And it is a vibration that initiates the cosmic motor which upholds all life and every particle of creation through vibratory energy. If you feel so comfortable, close your eyes. If you do not, and if you just want to listen to this instead of participate, it's okay too. According to the law of quantum physics, you will be practicing mental rehearsal, meaning because we're all connected, that as long as enough of us are participating, it will permeate to all beings here in the physical body, because we're all one. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all the same tribe. Prayer pose with the hands and the thumbs are pressed into the thymus area. The reason for pressing the thumbs into the thymus area is in order to relax the mind and relax the body, to help us go into that state of being. Just simply meditate upon the words I say. Heavenly Father, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in our bodies. Keep your eyes closed and briskly rub your hands together, palms facing each other. The motion is especially effective as a means of gathering and feeling energy in the hands, and continue to rub. At the same time, concentrate deeply on the energy flowing into your body through your brain stem and going into your arms and your hands. You'll feel the warmth and tingling in the arms and the hands as that healing energy gathers there. Do not tense. Keep the body relaxed. Raise your hands outstretched in front of you, about the height of the forehead, and you're going to chant Om all together, aloud with me. Om. For as long as you can hold that sound in your vibration. Rest your arms down at your side. Mentally feel that the healing vibrations are flowing out of your hands to those in need of healing. Back to prayer pose. Heavenly Father, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all Thy children. Manifest Thy healing presence in their minds. Rotate your hands in a forward motion. Your hands will soon become filled with cosmic energy. Continue. Concentrate on the cosmic energy entering the brain stem and flowing into your hands. And now, raise your hands outstretched in front of you to about the height of the forehead, and again chant Feel the vibration in your nasal cavity and in your skull. Lower your hands. Visualize healing vibration flowing from you, from the Om that is within you, for all those for whom you are praying, including yourselves. And now, let us end in prayer pose and with the sound of Om being sung melodically, all together with me. Om, Om, Om. One more time. Om, Om, Om. How about once more? Om, Om, Om. Thank you, and amen. And God bless each and every one of you.